everybody, welcome back to the episode you didn't ask for, but I did it anyway. It's a speed build in The Sims 4. Now, when I built this, it wasn't with the intention of actually using it. I will start with that. It was just for the sake of building because I was bored and I wanted to build and challenge myself to do some different building than what I was used to. So I actually took a floor plan for just a random apartment and decided I'm going to build to this floor plan, and then I want to build an apartment within this building, each apartment being different but also very similar. So all of them have the exact same floor plans, except for some of them have different color schemes. Again, this was not really with the intention of using it for anything, but now that I've been rewatching it as, to edit this, I realize I might actually use it. That being said, I may, go back when I do use it and just empty the apartment and decorate it for the sim that I'm going to use. If I use it, it may very well be for Ruben. I think it would be fun and an added challenge to have them live in an apartment. So we'll see. I don't know exactly yet because, as we know, if you've seen the episode, you may or may not have. Spoiler alert, just in case, depending on when this airs, you may have not seen it, but Ruben does get married and is starting his own family. And I think it might be fun when his parents pass to maybe move them into an apartment with the premise or the idea that maybe he just doesn't quite have the same funds as when his mom was alive. Because, well, between both of his moms, he had, Skylar with her very high career in the tech guru. She was making a lot of money and bringing thousands of simoleons home per day. And his other mom, Elaine, who has her very lucrative begonia business. So between those, maybe when they pass away, the story will go that he just doesn't have the same funds being an entertainer that his mom's had. So he had to move into his apartment with his new wife and their soon baby. We don't know what baby it is yet because all we know in the last episode was that she was pregnant. And that was confirmed at the end of the episode. Again, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, I'm sorry, I just spoiled it for you. But I think it would be fun. Anyways, so in this one, what I did is I made the first floor. And I made the floor and then I furnished it before even, making the additional floors above. Hindsight, that was kind of a pain in the butt because I had to go back and delete everything so that it wouldn't superimpose over each other and make it kind of glitchy and messed up. And I was trying to have each one styled completely different as far as colors and what was going on in the apartments themselves. So on the first floor, I did a very neutral color tone because I was thinking this is the base. This is just to get the idea. We'll stick with neutral tones. Plus, I kind of like neutral tones myself. Most of the colors in my house are neutral tones, so that's kind of what I was thinking, sticking with neutral tones. But I also challenged myself, you would be proud, I challenged myself to not use the stuff that I'm super familiar with because I didn't want to stick to the same stuff that I always cherry pick out of the pre-made room. So I tried really hard to push myself to look through all of the swatches, to go through all of the sections. I still, of course, cherry picked from rooms because there's a lot of stuff in The Sims 4 to pick from and it can be very overwhelming. And sometimes I have an idea of what I'm looking for in mind and I know where it is in the pre-made room. So again, if you don't like seeing stuff cherry picked from pre-made rooms, then just don't watch any of my stuff. But if you, like me, do like to cherry pick, then join me on this speed build. But in the first floor room, I imagined it's a family with kids. I got a couple of kids, couple being 3. I put bunk beds. I've got a crib. I really did up this room. Now, also, I kind of thought if I play it, maybe I would use this one. But I think because I don't know why, but I really feel like it might be more fun to live on an upper floor. I might, when I play, if I move them into these apartments, I might put them on a different floor and just refurnish it. But if I end up using the bottom floor, I may keep it furnished as it is. It's hard for me to say right now. I still am undecided. But anyways, so my whole reason for building it, and other than challenging myself and just being bored and wanting to have fun, is that I was thinking about how I used to live in apartments and you could meet a lot of different people. And there's people, you may never meet these kind of people anywhere else in your life except for in an apartment. Not that there's weirdos. There are some weirdos in apartments, but there can be really cool people that you meet in an apartment complex. And I thought if I were to ever play, that would be cool. And then I was like thinking about apartment complexes and just how it would be fun to build one. And you can't make a complex because the lots aren't big enough. But I thought it would be a fun challenge. So I was also sick. So some of my thought process was a little all over the place, and why I'm laying in bed at 3 a.m. thinking about apartment complexes and building them in The Sims can only be explained by being sick. I did struggle with the staircase to go up to these different floors because what I had in my head didn't work geometrically in The Sims. So I made it work with this weird almost spiral staircase situation, but it made me extend out the patios for all of them. I was trying to stick with small patios and it wasn't working, but in hindsight it did also work out better because on the other end of the wall there's the back patio, and you can use that to I furnished some of them. I put stuff and clutter and things that they would be doing if they were living on these patios or living in these apartments and going out on these patios. Anyway, so when I got to the second floor, I was like, I want to do like an actual color scheme for this one. So I did pink. I was channeling my mom. That was her favorite color. Now, my mom was not a cat person, but the person who lives here shares her love of pink, but not her love for cats. This apartment is, I imagined, a cat lady. She lives alone, but she has a guest room. Or I also thought maybe it's a young person with their cat and their grandma lives with them, or maybe their auntie, something like that. But I wanted to stick with pink. On all of the floors, I tried to utilize the same cabinets again. I didn't have cabinets in different places. I didn't put appliances in different places because if you think about an apartment complex, each floor for the most part is the same, unless you go to a different building where maybe they have a different floor plan. But if you're in an apartment that has the same floor plans spread across, like every floor plan that's the same has all of the stuff in the same places. The showers are in the same places, the toilets, the appliances, all those kinds of things, the hookups for your washer and dryer, if you have them, they're all in the same places. There's not a lot of room for variety there. So I made sure that those all stayed the same. Now, I did imagine that these people have lived here a long time. So the paint and stuff like that, they have different colored paint schemes because they've lived there long enough that they started painting, and they're like, well, you know what? When I finally move, I'll worry about it then. So they have some pink walls in this particular apartment. And I think this one, honestly, pink is not my favorite color, but I'm almost certain this is my favorite of my builds. As far as out of these three in this build, this was my favorite one. I just really went all out with the pink, but I also tried to make it seem realistic. I'm only going to do pink accents to things for the most part. Like I had a pink bed and I did pink and white and pink and tan or pink and gold. Like I tried to make it make sense if it was realistic. This is a video game, so it's not going to be 100% realistic, but I did try to make it make sense. And I spent a lot of time on this. This is probably one of the longer builds that I've done. I've sped it up a lot so that you're not watching like every long, boring, and this thing, it's, as you can tell, is going by very, very quickly. But also, if I did it at normal speed, it was over several hours. Now, I have the added benefit of I did not stream this, so I wasn't talking to people. We're not looking at like 6 to 8 hours of me building. It was several hours stretched out over several days because I would just stop playing, stop recording, come back, work on it again later. But when I got to the third floor, I went from pink to black. So completely different. And I had I've probably said this already, I had a lot of fun. This was so much fun for me to really branch out and try different things and put in and take out swatches and change colors and go, oh, well, this looks good at the first time I did it, but coming back to it, I don't really like it. And let's do this. And trying to imagine what these people who are these Sims that live in these apartments, what they're into and what their styles are like, and not accidentally transposing this same style over and over again, because that's also like my downfall, is that most apartments or most Sims builds that I make are styled to my liking, which, as we know, not all Sims like. Elaine is a perfect example. I styled their house in a way I would like, and Elaine has been very vocal about her distaste for their living arrangements. So that is my fault. I'm sorry, Elaine, but it also added great to the story. I just made it out like Skylar and Elaine are bickering after the fact, and that Skylar likes it, but Elaine doesn't, and Elaine only said okay because she loves Skylar, and then it ended up up making her bitter. And later she wanted a divorce as they got into their older years. And she wanted that divorce until Skylar passed away. So again, these are all like, it goes with the story, okay? But I also thought it would be fun that if I have Ruben and his family move into one of these apartments, maybe I won't pick the bottom floor. Maybe I'll pick another floor. I'm going to move other Sims into this complex as well and set it up to actually be rented so that there's other families around. I don't know if it'll work, but we'll see. I think it would be cool. And then it adds to the fact that Ruben and his family could very well meet other Sims. And, you know, we got to keep moving on with each generation. Otherwise, we're just going to be ending at the second generation. So that wouldn't be any fun. But in this one, I used a lot from I'm drawing a blank on the name of the pack, but it's the one with Mount Komorebi and the ski resorts and stuff like that. I enjoy that one a lot. I like the kind of oriental vibe that it has going on. So also in this one, I did opposite. So black and pink, very opposing colors. They look nice together, but very opposing type colors. And then the pink house or pink apartment, they like cats. The black apartment, they like fish. Could have been dogs and cats, but meh. So I really did, though, I'm not joking, spent a lot more time on this than I had on a lot of my other builds. I went back on the outside. I added stuff on their back patios to make it, you know, seem like they go outside. They hang out on their patio. When other Sims come over, they hang out in the back on the patio. Or maybe if they're kind of single Sims, they go out and do things that they specifically like to do. I even did it so that they have their front porches decorated. I went all out on this. There definitely could be more. I have seen some people's builds where there is definitely a lot more involved than what I have ever done. But at some point I start to get kind of bored with the building and I want to play again. So I had to find a good balance, but I also wanted to get my idea out. The next part of this that I went to is I wanted to have a pool, because what good apartment complex doesn't have a pool? So I wanted to put a pool in. I put the pool in and I started doing that, and I was like, I'm going to do these walls and I'm going to mimic this pre-made little spa place, and I liked it and it looked good. But when I kind of pulled back and looked at the apartment from the outside, I really didn't like it anymore, and so I had to revamp a little bit. So you'll see that in a minute, where I just knocked down the walls and didn't like it. I was not happy, so I had to fix that, and I deleted everything. And it was rough because each bush was put in like one by one. So I actually ended up Googling, you know, apartment pools. Literally, I typed in apartment pools to see what came up on Google Images and got a better idea, and of course my own memory of what pools in apartment complexes look like. So I stopped where I did with the pool, thinking I will come back to this because my brain is a little frazzled. And I did. I came back to it and added more of the sunning chairs. There's some places for people to sit, but I also was like, well, I could put grill and this, and none of it looked good. It just all was not, I wasn't happy with it. So I ended up taking all those back out and putting the little sun chairs back out, because especially when I Googled pools, that's more what it looked like. But I also wanted the little kiddie pool. This is my favorite part. I went through debug hunting down cars, and I was just plopping them on the lot so that I could get them out there and not have to search for them again, and then tried to arrange them. I tried to arrange them thinking at least 1 to 2 people per apartment would have a car. So there's about 5 of them there, and they're all parked as if it's like an actual parking lot. I put the mailbox for the apartments up there, so there's a mailbox there, and I kind of slid it in between the patios. And then I started doing this kiddie playground thing, and I was doing the terrain tools. I hate terrain tools. I'm so bad at terrain tools. So I started it and was like, nah, maybe not. We're going to do a sandbox type of situation. So I ended up doing it as a platform that I did pea gravel as the swatch, and then now it's kind of like it's in a sandbox situation, if you will. And I think that turned out a lot better and was much more pleasing to the eye. And now that we're at the end, you can kind of see I'm wrapping up. I put a dumpster. Let's go jump into the game real quick, and I'll show you more in detail each space, because I really did blow through this, and we'll check it out. All right, guys, it's a different day. You can tell because I'm wearing a different shirt, and the lighting's different because, well, it's cloudy outside and my normal use of light is a window. So anyway, so here we are with Sassy Sasquatch at the lot. Now, I guess the weather is snowy now that I'm actually like in game with it, but we're just here for visiting purposes. So we've got the cars parked out front, which is probably one of my favorite touches. I even added a fire hydrant, and we've got the mailbox, which funny enough, the mailbox comes with 3 like slots, and there's 3 on this building, so I think that's a fun touch. I put the dumpster out here because, as we all know, apartments though have their own trash cans. You often have to take it out to the dumpster for trash to get it out of your apartment. And then additionally, we've got, I still think this is so cute. Looking at this again, it's been a little while since I've actually looked at it, and looking at it again, I realized I actually kind of like this. But we've got our playground here, and I tried to put different playground or like play type stuff for different age groups. I'm pretty sure the toddlers can play on that one. And then we've got like the little toddler pool, the regular pool, all the places for sunbathing. It even has a hot tub. And for those of you who have lived in apartments, it probably seems pretty familiar. But for those of you who maybe never have or don't have any experience with an apartment, a lot of times they'll have the pool and the hot tub. If it's a good apartment, it doesn't have to be a fancy apartment, but the good ones have hot tubs and pools. But then we have, so we'll look at these different apartments. So the first floor, which is the one that I went with a lot more neutral tones, but at the same time, there is a lot of neutral tones here, but there's also this really bright kids room. All of the walls are tan, and I was kind of channeling my first apartment as, like an adult person. We had walls that color, and that just stuck with me as far as I never want to have just plain white walls ever again. Anyway, so we've got, so we have you come into the entrance here through the front door, and then we have the living room / office space. And this, I imagine, is where, of course, you would sit and watch some TV, but maybe also you've got, homework, or maybe you work from home, something like that, or just need to use the computer. You would have that there. And then we have the frames I put here are empty. You can put photos in those. So I thought whatever sim lives here could fill them with photos of their family and things from their life. And then we have the dining room just off of the living room area, and it's got 4 chairs and a high chair because they have a young child. We've got our mail and purse hung up there, which I guess I could really have put it over by the door, but I liked that space better. We've got a nice photo. And then this will probably be easier to see into the kitchen because it's kind of a tight squeeze from the top. So we have the little knickknacks and things like that on the counters and the fridge, and every apartment is furnished with the same appliances, just maybe in different swatches to go with different kitchens and stuff like that. But I went with this one for this apartment. I keep wanting to say house. And then the laundry area. So in this laundry area, we've got our ironing board, the laundry, a little rug there because I thought it looked cute. Without it, it looked kind of plain to me. Then we have the bathroom, which a lot of these spaces are kind of tight squeezed, so I'm sorry about that. As far as viewing it goes, it's a kind of a small space. So we've got the toilet and the tub, and then we have the mirror and some knickknacks. I say knickknacks. We got a candle and some bathroom supplies, a robe, a towel hanger. This one has a laundry hamper because made sense realistically. And we have the master bedroom here. And I used this dresser. I've never used that one before, so that one was new for me. It's got, family photo. It's not a family photo. I actually imagine that's more of like a sports photo, if I'm honest, like a sports team type photo. And then we have just some art on the wall, some glasses, just a simple master bedroom. And then we also have the kids' room, which I furnished with a bunk bed set and a crib. Then there's some toys, some stuff hanging on the wall. I put the little crafting table here where they can do arts and crafts. Usually they paint or draw on that one. We've got some books here. So, and oh yeah, I forgot about that. I put the like messy stuff on the floor because it's a kid's room. They're probably just just disrobing wherever they land. So, and just leaving it everywhere. And then we have the little bookcase over here. Each bedroom does have a closet. And in the floor plan that I had picked to go off of it, that's where the closets were. And since we have closets in The Sims 4, I thought it would work. Speaking of closets, over here we have the little utility type closet. So in this one I didn't put anything but the electrical box. And this one's supposed to be, yeah, it's not working. Like, it's a non-functioning box, but I thought it would be cool to put in there as an added touch. This particular person, I imagined they would just kind of spend some peaceful time out on the patio, maybe drink their coffee, do some stargazing at night, maybe look at the planets if that's something they're into. So it's a very simple first floor. Again, I also, when I built it, I imagined that would be where the landlord lived with his family or her family, their family, and they've been there a while. They just keep it nice. Then we have the second floor, which is the pink apartment for the cat lady or cat person. This one is probably one of my favorite ones, and I did go a little more in furnishing it, and I had a lot of fun picking out the pink colors and stuff like that. Again, I imagine them having a cat, and they go all out for their cat. So they've got a big cat tower, and they've got the food bowl down there. They have their pink couch, and they have their entertainment center. They don't watch a lot of TV here, so they have just a bookcase there because they're more inclined to maybe read versus, watching TV. But I believe, did I put it? No, I really didn't put a TV in here at all whatsoever. Sometimes I'll use the picture frame TV somewhere, but I didn't do that one here. So this I imagined being either like a single person with a spare room, or maybe a daughter and her mother, or an auntie or something like that. But this would be the master bedroom where the owner of the cat is, and they've got their little cat bed there. They have all of their little knickknacks and stuff like that, jewelry on their dresser. And then over here we have more cat stuff and things on the dresser. This was cool to really challenge myself to use stuff I don't normally use. So it was a lot of fun. And then we've got the washer and dryer. This washer and dryer has stuff on top of it, which was an afterthought. I think I put those in at the last minute, and I guess I just forgot to do anything for the landlord. But here they've got the same space as far as where everything is, but I did go ahead and do the tub and shower as pink tile. They've got the pink counter, laundry hamper, some stuff on the shelf. This one has a little soap dispenser above the toilet. I imagined it more as maybe lotions or something, because it doesn't quite make sense with this shower, because it does have a shower caddy in there, and they've got hand soap right there. And oh yeah, I put in a little what do you call this? Nightlight. There it is. And so maybe that's lotions or something. We've got a pink robe and pink bath towel. For the dining room, instead of having the office here like the previous apartment, I put the office space over here. So it's kind of an afterthought where they, use the computer as they need to. They have people come over and eat. We've got the pink style kitchen. I changed all of the swatches on the counters, but they're in the exact same place. I forgot a sink. Well, that's embarrassing. Oh my. Well, don't mind me. I apparently don't know what I'm doing. So we'll just throw that sink there. It can be the same sink. That's fine. We'll make it a little lighter, different. There we go. Okay. And then they have wine bottles and stuff like that. Cute little decorations. They have on their back patio, they have a space for 2 people to sit. They've got some jars that are decorative. Maybe they've got some snacks in there or something. I don't know why you would have snacks outside, but you never know. And then that's it for this apartment, really. Then we have the 3rd floor apartment, which this is the black and white apartment. This is a person that I imagined having fish. Maybe they just like fish. I don't know. This one, they don't have an office space out in the main living area. They've got place for mail and the catch-all here right at the door. This is that yoga deal, yoga mat, I'm not even sure what, meditation station, and some wall decor. They've got a little heater in the corner because maybe they're just cold natured, so they like to have a little added heat. Apparently only one made it. I don't know what happened here. We'll throw another. There we go. I think something glitched out whenever I was saving and moving and stuff like that, and it just disappeared. It's probably somewhere, but that's fine. And we have, so their living room. I wanted to put something on this wall, and a lot of the black or gray or anything that kind of fit the color scheme really didn't go with the rest of the aesthetic of the apartment. So I ended up putting these decorative pieces. I don't even know what to call those instead of a painting. And then we have the kitchen, which again, it's the same. Everything's the same except for the colors. And I changed the colors to match with the black and white theme. They have a shelf above their counter over here to store some extra plates. And then interestingly enough, I'm now realizing I didn't put any cabinets. So them putting a shelf there would make sense that they just don't have enough counter space or cabinet space. I've got the washer and dryer area, the bathroom, everything's sort of in the same place with different knickknackies and stuff like that. Then we have the guest bedroom, which this one is where the computer is. So I imagined either the roommate or maybe a teen if it's a family. They live here and they're the ones who use the computer. And then over here we have the master bedroom, which I think turned out good. I did the frames that you can put family photos in or photos that your Sims take, you can put in there. I put this little folding, technically this is like a room divider, but I put it out just as a decorative piece against the wall. This one I also really like as well. I think the pink one's probably still my favorite. I'm not sure why. They've got their plants out here and a place. Now this is like that game board, so they could play games on it and stuff like that, and puzzles, or I think this is just games. This one's the game one, so I thought that would be fun. They could go out there and play games. The staircase is not what I was going for. Oh, and it's missing. Okay, yeah, I'm sure that this happened whenever I moved the lot. we're missing some things. I'm not really sure what I was doing with my brain, but you know, here we are. We'll just slap that bad boy down and fix that. Okay. It wasn't initially, and I think there was supposed to be something here, but anyway, I think initially my thought is that it would go only stairs on the front side, and essentially they would go stairs up and then stairs up to here. But this works good too. It still gets the point across, and this probably actually fits an apartment better because this is something that they would do usually between buildings or something like that. So it went. And I put the grill. I really felt like there should be some kind of grill out by the pool because there's always, at least in my experience, there's always some kind of grill because people will go out there and have birthday parties or cookouts or whatever at their apartment complex. And there's usually a grill to cook hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff on. So I put that out there next to the trash can, and that's pretty much it. I think it turned out great. I had a lot of fun building it, which I've said several times. And I think that's if nothing else, that's the point, is to have fun and see what you can come up with. When I initially started building this, I had no intention of doing anything with it but building it. As I built, I got more and more ideas of how I could use it. But as I rewatched it to edit this video, I saw my mind was blown. Oh, I could put Ruben here and play here. And so I'm really excited to potentially use it. We might put Ruben here, and I think it would be really cool for the story as far as, like I said, his moms have passed. He doesn't have the same funds because his income is not the same. So to save money, they moved into an apartment and stuff like that. Now, of course, as the building is right now, it's just a residential lot. So it would be very expensive. It cost Sassy like 170,000 simoleons or something like that. I had to up her money before I could move her onto the lot. But what I would do if I played is I would make it a rental property, and they would just rent the one apartment, and I would just move some random Sims into the other two apartments so that we could actually use that as an apartment, because I'm sure the rent on this place is something special. And so to avoid that, let's see, show bills information. Yeah, well, it's not as bad as I expected. 6,000 without having used any utilities yet. It's at 6,000 simoleons for the monthly rent, or I don't know how often the rent is around here, but the rent would be very expensive, and not gonna happen. But that would be even more interesting for gameplay. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, you didn't ask for it, but here it is. Hope you enjoyed it anyway. I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Who else thinks we should have Ruben move into an apartment? I think it would be fun.